how can I get over the fact that my narcissistic mother or father doesn't love me and never will? So how does one do this? How do you get over the fact that you have a mother or a father with narcissistic personality disorder or the traits, and that this means that they're probably not going to make any effort to see you, respect you, and love you like you wish they would? Well, obviously, there's a whole process involved, but I want you to know that it's entirely possible. As a matter of fact, as the daughter of a narcissist, I have been going through this process over the past 11 years. Now, what I want you to really wrap your mind around is that when our parents don't love us for who we are, we end up kind of forging a personality that is aimed at pleasing them or being punished a little bit less. We basically, instead of just acting like children and exploring things and getting to know ourselves, all of the energy that would go into play and discovering who we are goes into defense mechanisms. And those defense mechanisms, they reject the parts of us that our parents are not okay with. So what I'm trying to tell you is that children of narcissists, they will actually forge an identity in such a way that the prerequisite for that identity to exist is mommy and daddy have to be okay with it. For some adult children of narcissists, the point is to become the exact opposite that the parents want them to be in order to draw attention to themselves by rebelling. So this is also a pattern that may happen. That's not always a good thing, especially if you're dealing with a narcissist. And if they're abusive towards you and they call you, a piece of shit, they say you're trash, you're a horrible person, an ungrateful child, your attempt at pleasing them might be to take on this personality. Because if that's all that mommy and daddy can see, then I guess you'll be a loser, right? At least this way I can be seen. Now, can you understand how serious this is? We spend our entire lives thinking, well, if I do this or if I act that way, maybe this time mom or dad will finally see me and respect me. And it never happens. So you're going to have to go through a process by which you're okay with giving up all of those aspects of your identity that were forged specifically to cater to mom and dad's necessities. And this is quite a process because we're talking about changing your inner motivation from trying to please someone to trying to please yourself. And this is particularly hard for children of narcissists because we're used to invalidating our inner wishes, desires, and needs, right? Even though it is absolutely possible, it does involve restructuring, reprogramming, getting to know and reprogramming the parts of yourself that were created specifically to fit into your family dynamics. It involves taking time to change external situations. Like, what if you're financially dependent on your mother and you're still living with her? And, you really want to be okay with the fact that she's never going to love you. But that's kind of hard when you're living with her and you're asking her for money and you have to deal with her the whole time. It might take you a couple of years even or a few months, I don't know, to get structured financially so you can distance yourself from that triggering environment. Also, and this is a really crappy thing to say, but unfortunately, it's very true when it comes to children of narcissists. You have to completely be exhausted. We generally don't give up that whole, I'm going to make mom see me. I'm going to include her in the family. I'm going to try to fix dad. We don't give up that mechanism until it becomes abundantly clear that it's impossible and we can't do it. And by that time, we're often having suicidal ideation. We're depressed. We got panic attacks going on. So oftentimes, there is a natural process of frustration, which I call the grieving process, that is involved in giving up the hope of being loved. We don't notice it, but many of our behaviors are kind of still based in that hope. So we try this way, we try that way, we try that other way, we try to get that approval, we try to be seen, and it never works. And then we just kind of like keep giving of ourselves until we're completely dry and empty. And at that point, we're like, oh, damn. I gotta stop basing my decisions on trying to please mom or dad. And then because we know it's not gonna work, we give up. And that's the grieving process. When you give up all of the energy that was going towards a defense mechanism that I talked about, that have the specific function of altering what your true personality is, so you reject it, and instead of that, you do what mom and dad wants you to do. All of the energy is liberated to you, and you can now use it to what? To make new decisions. I am not choosing stuff that I would choose a few months ago, a couple years ago, that was based on trying to please mom and dad. Now I choose to please me. And this is a step-by-step process because it really takes a lot of really resilience to guilt In the beginning, we feel just so much guilt.
Hey guys, if you're getting any value from this video, then download your free PDF, Break the Chains, 10 Steps to Stop Your Narcissistic Parents' Control. You can find the link in the description box.
You will learn how to navigate these difficult situations by paying special attention to what your true self actually wants. Then you know you can't go wrong. You're not following some narcissist, some therapist. You're following your true self. And that's what I want you to do. So there is that grieving process where we give up. And there's also, last but not least, a process by which you learn how to give your wounded parts the loving, maternal, non-judgmental energy that you should have received. And there's a technique, there are many techniques for this. And the important thing is the brain cannot tell the difference between what's being visualized with true purpose and what is actually happening. And this is important because that's why it's entirely possible for you to mother your wounded parts. And I know this sounds woo, but it's a very powerful technique used by a bunch of different types of therapists. And as you do this, you stop feeling that huge void that many of us have that comes from this idea that, well, if mom didn't love me, if dad didn't love me, I'm unworthy. You can fill that void with your own love because you're not really looking for your mom's love or your dad's love. You're actually looking for the ability, the permission to just love yourself and do your own thing. Okay? And as you learn how to do that for yourself, again, there's techniques for this. Then, with time, you're okay with not being loved by your mom or dad. So tell me, did this make any sense to you? Tell me your impressions in the comments below. Thank you so much, guys, and see you next time.